Okay, folks, back to this messy looking area because of this. It's like I'm making my own guacamole. So I'm not really off to a late start. Actually, an earlier start than most days. I just wasn't filming, playing with detergent. I was washing the rest of the palm trees, so they're all washed at this point. After this set, there's basically only two more bags. One of them of traditional looking ones, basically like all these. I don't know, 30 of them, something like that. And then the ones from Org Memory, which are just like all over the place. Plus, I've washed all the little small plants too. So we should be able to do some of this stuff here. And let's just continue painting these jokers. I think I've earned a new one of these. How about that? But yeah, we got all the palm trees washed. They're all drying. I decided not to trim them up first. I just know it's going to take a little while for them to dry, air dry. So you don't want to put them in the microwave. Hey, why does this taste like plastic? Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to seal these guys right on this. So, flower arranging with Tony. What's that stuff called that's like the green stuff that's like styrofoam, but it's hard? You know, they use for flowers, and it has that crunchy, like, I can't stand the feeling of that thing. You know, once you pushed it in, it doesn't bounce back. And one of them flower things, one of them flower child things. What's up, Jeffrey? Well, I did get my shipment from Hornby on the replacement pieces, but they didn't send me any decals, so I figured it was worth a shot. Well, that'll be the last model I get without checking out that it has decals, that it has all the decals with it. So here I was gonna say something super nice about Airfix, but my my brother ended up getting a firearm that my dad had, you know, small 22 caliber thing. Like you guys can have those in the UK, and he had a problem with it, and the thing was manufactured back in the early 70s. And he contacted the company, and they sent him like a whole new assembly thing. I'm like, wow, that's like a lot, you know? Something that's not necessarily under warranty or something. It was just like sticking. I forget exactly what it was, but I figured I could at least get some decals from that weren't included in the thing that I bought. It's not like I lost them. I never got them. So, oh well. All right. Oh, that's much better. Woo! Let's get all the Tony's tones out here. Not a big deal. We're not doing that. We're not doing that Messerschmitt that ME110 anytime soon. We got jungle. We got jungle fever. So I'm trying to skip a step. The step would have been to go ahead and seal these. Go ahead and steal these trunks, and then paint these individually, put them on there, and then seal them again. So I'm just going to seal them twice. See if I can get away with not touching this trunk. I bet there is a channel on YouTube where people can do flower arranging. Flower arranging with Tony. I don't know that I'd be any good at it. I don't know that I would suck at it, but. What's up, Marcus? There's some things that you just can get, that you can just get behind, and some things you just can't. And one of the, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but one of the things that bugs me is I don't know why I thought about this, but I'm sure they have these shows out in the UK where people like, dancing. I'm going to say Dancing with the Stars. Not that I watch that. I have seen some episodes of it, by force. The girls like to watch that kind of stuff, but frequently, I don't know why I thought about this. It's not like I've seen one of those in 10 years, probably, but you'll see them some competition that they're doing a certain dance to a certain song, and to me, they're not in cahoots with each other, and it drives me crazy. I don't know why I thought about flower arrangements, because there's some flower arrangements that just they're going in too many directions at once. I like order. Everything I do has like order. ISTJ reporting for duty. Well, some parts of ISTJ anyways. But yeah, they'll be watching some show. Man, they're dancing really good. I said, they're not dancing with the music. They're like at odds with it. Oh, it's supposed to be that way. I said, okay, I'm hard of hearing, but, I don't hear well, but I hear everything. And, no. Yeah, that goes against the grain for me. I used to get scraps of that stuff from my mom's friend, made good hills that took trees. Well, yeah, they don't have much bounce back. Now, I got access to a lot of this stuff. You like more Ikebana style arrangements? Okay, Gaijin. I learned that word this week. Ikebana arrangements. Oh, that's too minimalist. Oh, this is nice, though. I think, is that a bird of paradise? Oh, does it say bird of paradise? It does. Well, I'm learning my flowers, aren't I? Isn't that special? Here's the sad thing about flowers. They're dead. You're basically arranging corpses. That's kind of sad. And I'm not a tree hugger, but it's like, there's no reason to be destroying things. Gaijin! Gaijin, go home! Oh, man. Yes, they're more minimalist. Yeah, I'm all into, feng shui and all that stuff. And you can have too much stuff that we can also have too little stuff. You know, it can look like a prison cell. You know what I'm talking about. Gaijin, go home. You're going for ikebana with plastics. Really? You're only going to have like one tree on a stand? Well, we'll see how you come up with. I wonder if anybody out there, not you guys, but I'm talking about if anybody out there like watches my videos, probably not, and gets ideas from them and then like quotes me, hey, I got this idea from Tony doing such and such. I'm sure there's somebody. You know, I've mentioned this before, but one of the things I hated about writing papers is giving people credit. And it's not because I hate giving them credit, it's that it has to be in a certain an anal way of you got to put this first and the publisher and then the year of it and then it's Random House. And I'm like, can I just write the fucking paper? You know, it's not like I want to take credit for somebody else's work, but it's like, oh my God, it's got to be in this certain way or whatever. That was always annoying as shit. And it wasn't taught to me well, you know, so. Because, you know, I'll tell you, I'm like, I didn't come up with, you know, this bamboo thing I'm going to try. It's what's his name? And I can't think of what his name is. Miniature Dork Universe or whatever. And we'll probably change it up a little bit. I'm not going to use any static grass with a static applicator. I don't have one. I don't feel like I need to get one, especially if it shocks you, you know. I get other people that torture me enough. I don't need to jump. I don't need to torture myself also. Although somebody probably enjoys being, you know, getting zapped. Yeah, they probably don't listen. Anybody know anybody going to Historicon? I know a couple of people that are up there and they're posting stuff, and nothing makes me want to just jump out and go there. Well, it's too late now. By the time I get there, it's over. I told my VA friends about you. I told my AA friends about you. I got to drink more to be an AA. I have to drink some to be an AA, really. They mostly paint sci-fi stuff. Well, you know, I hate to break it to you, but you can get other friends. Why is science fiction so popular, man? Why? I don't understand it. You probably watch science fiction, right? Well, tell them I'm the one person that doesn't like Firefly. Oh man, they're gonna come unglued. Ah! It's this show, man. Whatever. I'm not a fan of Nathan Fillion. He's a nice guy in real life, but you know, other than when he played the weatherman on Modern Family, I haven't liked him in any role I've seen him in. He was good as the Modern Family weatherman. Just can't take the guy serious enough, you know? Good morning, Ben. You like Star Wars, but that's it for me. Even the new one? I don't want to tell people I like Star Wars. They might get the bad idea. Might get the wrong idea. You know what I've never been able to come to grips with? Spaceballs. Yes, I'm the only person who doesn't like Spaceballs. I've tried to watch it twice. It's like, no. And I like that kind of comedy sometimes, but yep, I'm the one guy. I'd rather watch Kelly's Heroes. Actually, I'm waiting for Kelly's Heroes to be available free, and then I'll watch it. A lot of good stuff at StoreCon. Bill's shooting lots of videos. Which Bill? Bill, yeah, which Bill? I want to say like I know which one it is, but I don't know. That facility is great. I just basically go for shopping. I don't need anything. I need to enjoy the stuff I've already bought before I get more stuff. You know, and I'm in that scale that nobody plays here. Bill. That would have been a bad combination. Try to get ready for being gone this week and then being gone this week with this week. That would have been a disaster for me if I'd planned on going. Molyneux. Not sure who. It sounds familiar, but he's the one with the goober bear. I had zero interest to go to Historicon to play games. So why shop? Like you could shop online. And again, I wouldn't mind going in person and shopping stuff, but people aren't going to have 20 mil stuff. At least it's not in that dump in the host hotel. That's a joke, man. That's a hotel you take somebody to if you don't like them. I hate you. Can I buy you a hotel room? So I might go on the lookout for some cork. I know I've got some trivets from IKEA that was really inexpensive that I got, but they're too thick. I think the base thickness of them is probably about like that. And I don't want them to be that much of an angle. So I may go somewhere on the way into town today and see if they have it. Not in a huge hurry, but just to kind of see what before I'm in dire need for it. I have to stop everything I'm doing. I got to go into town anyway, so into town makes it sound like I'm on some dirt road or something like that. It's 40 miles. No, no. One of the coolest game setups I've seen were some folks, and I don't know exactly what the names of them are, but I think it's a husband and a wife team, and they're in the Carolinas somewhere, and they put together. They've gotten into different games. I think the last thing they're either into. What's that thing that's called that everybody plays? Bolt action or something like that. But they had like this setup with like in Sicily and one in Normandy, and it was like the terrain was they're like teddy bear fur aficionados, but it's done well, and I cared for their setups, not for their the game rules that they used, you know. But that's fine. I'm sure most people don't like what I use. I don't care. Okay. I think their last name starts with a K. I don't know. Their setups look really good. They did one in Sicily or whatever that was. The last time it was at Fredericksburg, they had a Sicily thing. And it was big. I mean, it was like really, really big. Like 10 by 20 or something just ridiculous. Husband and wife, yeah. I'm glad my wife doesn't game with me. She could do her own. She could do her own stuff. I don't like the way you did that punk. My wife doesn't have a voice like that. Sabicki. Their last name is Sabicki. I don't know them. I know of them. And they post a lot on our local on our Florida War Games group. And I don't know if they've come down here or not, but I think they're in the Carolinas somewhere. And they ran some game at Historicon, or they may still do it, but I know that I saw them. They used to run it in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And one of the games, I forget what it is. It's not Flames of War. It's big. It's 28 millimeter stuff. They do stuff in 28 millimeters. So whether it's bolt action or it's something else, I don't know how long bolt action's been around for, but it looked good. And I probably have pictures of it somewhere. I got one shot of something that they did in Normandy, and it was like going down like a hedgerow, and you could see the hedgerows were like enclosed like this with like the. I mean, it looked good. It looked really good. It made me want to play until I found out what rules there are. I was playing DBA and stuff like that. I have time for other games. I'm playing DBA back to back to back to back. See if I can find one of their pictures. Yeah, I don't remember how the figures are painted, but they're painted well. Let's see if I can find them. They have an unusual name. Joe's playing sailing ships. And one of the guys that I know has got this. He's animating a bunch of stuff with AI, and it looks pretty good. But I could do that with some of my figures, but then I wouldn't get any painting done. Okay. Let me go to HMGS. Okay, and then I'm going to do a search in here. Let me go under groups here, okay, and then I'm going to do a search. Some things are harder to do on your phone, and this is one of them. Let me see if this search, yes. Skibicki. Skibicki is his name. Let's see if I can find his World War II stuff. Yeah, he's a teddy bear aficionado, and he does a really good job. Yeah, he made a desert board. Look at this. There's nothing on here other than desert and tufts. See if I can find something else. But that's shaving a lot of stuff. I'm like, I don't need all that all over my. I don't know how these tanks look, but look at this. Look at this groundwork, and this is just simple shit. So I think what it is all this was teddy bear fur, and they just cut most of it off. I mean, I'm like, that's a lot of extra stuff laying around. Like here's a desert. Here's a desert map. Well, this turns sideways. You got some little soldiers there in the bottom right. Now, I don't know if you get in there and you're like, man, it needs a little bit more depth, but it looks. Let me see if I can find something else. Here's some samurai stuff he's done. But the problem with teddy bear fur is it's not flexible. Like, it'd be great for the desert, right? But if you cut a road through it, it'd look awesome, but then a road always has to be there. Oh, here's a Pacific one. Oh, I guess he's doing a. Hey, he's using plastic palm trees, but he's not painting them. Yeah. We'll look better than that. Let's see if I can find it. Here's Normandy. Oh, a recent game of Normandy Firefight. Well, there's a game I'd play. Normandy Firefight's all right. Yeah, this looks pretty good. You like watching Desmondo's Shadow War setups and after action reports. He uses chain of command for rules. Not sure I know who that is. Um, Mitch claims he hates teddy bear fur. I don't know where the teddy bear fur. I don't know where they put if he stuffed teddy bear fur down his pants or something. But that's the problem with making these ruts is, you got to have a bunch of extra. Like I don't want a rut. Well, it's tough. You're stuck with it there. Not a fan of chain of command. Well, I knew they had a lot of pictures of stuff. I could see getting some teddy bear fur and making some tall grass, but in like an area, right? And then you put it, and then you move somewhere else. But making the entire board. Here's some Congo game they have. Dissect some of these. I didn't know. Wow. I'm glad I talked myself into looking at this stuff. Yeah. Here's some of these palm trees or whatever. When considering terrain, I always end up yearning for a sand table with a resin bottom made to look like water to dig out rivers. You don't have space for that in Britain. You need to leave that in your Connecticut home. And then stuff like these are 28 millimeter figures. I can tell some of these plants are just too big. I mean, there's some big plants, but. I guess I shouldn't look through this stuff. Here's some bamboo, but it looks like none of this stuff is painted. You got to do something to it. You can't just leave it uniform color. It's not the plastic look because you seal it and that'll go away, but you can't make it uniform color. I mean, you can. I mean, if that's what you like, but I can't. Let's see. The pictures I took actually look better than any of this stuff. Yeah, this is what he made his desert thing look like, which is, definitely some broken ass terrain. The loose rocks and stuff like that is the secret. After doing a little thing with the bricks. Okay, recent tank battle for Sicily. This might be a similar setup. That looks pretty good, but you're stuck with those damn roads there. But I mean, it looks good. But I look at this stuff and I'm like, yeah, I could do better. He's got some desert stuff. I mean, he's got some winter stuff. Don't get me started. I don't know if this is docked or not, but that looks fucking great. You've got like a snow drift in between the clumps of grass and stuff like that. Anyhow, good stuff coming up ahead. That's the great thing about the internet. Like, okay, I like that. Or I don't like that. All right, like I can do that, and then you get an idea of how things look next to each other, and Des Darkin. Is that a guy? Des Darkin channel. I love the look of sand tables. I also wish I had one, but that would definitely be getting thrown out of the apartment. The Perry brothers do excellent layouts using 2x2 tiles on their table. They use flock and sand to hide seams and change roads. That's a lot of storage. I'm definitely going to have a bottom mat. Whether I use those shitty mats that I got from you know who. He sold his company, so I can't talk bad about him. Maybe the poor guy who bought it is probably having a living hell. You know, have all this customer base that are all disappointed with him. But I got to do something thin because the whole premise of the well, I could use a thicker mat and then just have and cut like outlines of where woods are, put the shims underneath those, and then put the magnets on them. But we're not individually magnetizing all these palm trees because I don't want them to be on a clump of just a. I don't want it to be just this lone palm tree by itself. That would provide like no cover. So my thing is you'll see terrain that looks really really good by people that have been in the industry a long time, and then the rule set they're using is like not captivating at all. Like you could have the best game set up, but if you're playing some rule set that's in my opinion too basic for how it looks, it defeats the purpose. The more detailed the look of the terrain. It's like this one guy, the guy that was making all those beautiful terrain things for Stalingrad, and then they go and play What a Tanker, and I'm like, what? No infantry? I mean, it's like this is a beautiful terrain setup. You've got rubble and stuff, and it's just for looks. I'm like, well, let's just play with felt then. Or do whatever you want. But that's just at least my take on it. Conventions just aren't long enough to merit doing all that effort to take it all down that quickly. And at least the shows here we have in Florida, you got to be in and out in 4 hours. 4 hours is what you got. So that's just not long enough to even get going. What's about? Oh, I forgot to say good morning, Tritark. Um, Welcome back. Not towing anybody away today. I don't know. You've probably been up all night for all I know. What better lard games out there? I think Chain of Command would be, it, fine. I'd have to change some things in it, but I think as a core, I think it'd be okay. I'd have to tinker with stuff. It's just one echelon level too high. It's better than like three echelon levels too high. I don't want to play a game with individual figures where you don't throw a grenade about a foot away. Grenades need to go about a foot away. To have the proper zoom in for what I want to simulate. For the story that I want to tell, it needs to have that kind of thing. So, everything's based around that. I know people that love Battleground or whatever the hell it was called. That Easy 8 Enterprises one. But then you got a guy that's, this tall that only throws a grenade 3 inches away. I'm like, well, if you only throw it 3 inches away, then the blast radius needs to be like a half an inch. So you can never get like multiple people in a grenade. I'm not saying you always get multiple people in the blast radius, but that's what it's for. A grenade is to, immobilize more than one guy while you do whatever it is that you need to do. Whether it's, shoot him in the face, get the heck out of Dodge, storm the place, whatever it is that you need to do, that's what they're for. Otherwise, you'd be just like, well, I'm just spraying with a submachine gun. Why do we even have any grenades? But again, I want to simulate tactics and, that kind of stuff on my level. That may not appeal to everybody. I don't want to play whatever the hell it's called. The one that's put out by Plastic Soldier Company. Battle, whatever. I've done those sorts of games before. Chain of Command 2. Let's take all these down. We'll put them in there as we're painting them. I'm gonna paint all the other palms that don't have the fronds in that bright ass color first. I just racked my brain, and I think our club has a copy of Normandy Firefight shoved in the terrain cupboard. It's pretty decent. I would say, it's more zoomed in than Face of Battle, but only by a very small amount. Like, you're perfectly happy running like 3 guys, which, may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's like, look, lots of people play role-playing games. How many people do you play in a role-playing game? One fucking person, right? So what's wrong with it's not enough figures playing only 3. Well, what about all those people that play, role-playing games with one guy, You're going to play with like 3. You're going to play with a fire team, I think it doesn't have any vehicles in it. I've played like 2 games of it. It's decent. It's percentile. Hey, that's good. But, it's got no vehicles in it. I don't think it's better than the Face of Battle. I don't think it is. I think it doesn't have as many. It doesn't rely on informational counters like the Face of Battle does. I mean, you could play Face of Battle without informational counters, but and what I'm going to do with Face of Battle next time I play it, whenever the hell that is, I'm going to try my house rule. Whereas if you pull a guy, you do his action. But if you pull a guy who has people underneath him, like if you pull a squad leader, right? And he's got other people near him. You could see that they're next to him. Pull another chit. And if it's one of his other guys, keep pulling until you pull somebody that's not one of his guys. Then you take that one you just pulled out that's not one of his guys, put it back in. Like that person doesn't get to go next. And now you can do your actions all at once with those three guys. Or two guys, or maybe, you know. So it allows you to do some kind of coordinating with people that are near you if the chits get pulled at the same time. And just see how that works. You know, so it's a little bit, so you have a little bit more impact on, you know, tactics. You know? Wish there was a percentile-based skirmish set for pre-20th century warfare. Well, you know, the thing about percentile that works great is that, man, I want this to be about a 17% chance of this happening. Okay, well, we can do 1 on a d6 or a 1 and 2 on a d6. How about you just use percentile and make it whatever percentile you want it to be? You know? And I'm sure there's people out there that don't like the percentile system, but they better not like the metric system. They better not people, I like the metric system, but I hate percentile type games. Because that just doesn't make any sense. Hell, I like playing centimeters. Or millimeters. I like whole numbers. I don't like fractions. I'm an anti-fraction. It's a decent set of rules. It's almost like they had something on their back burner and they printed it, and I don't think that they've made another version of it. I did a sniper hunt. It was like 6 guys against 2 or something like that. It's all right. I used that little French looking outhouse, that barn looking thing that's in 15 millimeter for it. I'm a sniper, and I'm going to set up my base in the outhouse. Scheisse! Yep, all around you. But I didn't think there's a group of guys that I used to play with on Fridays. They wouldn't play war games. That's the issue. But they were several of them were like deathly afraid of dice. You know, they prefer to like play shuffling card games. And not necessarily a card game, but one that resolves things by, you know, pulling cards and stuff. And I'm like, I'd rather go to work than shuffle a deck of cards. The anti-fraction faction, you got it. You're going to be my head of marketing. Already are. I don't like fractions. And then there's fractions, and then there's stupid fractions, right? Because a half, a quarter, an eighth, those are all right. But 5/16, 3/64, that's like F you, you know? You shoddy ass carpenter. You can't get within 3/64 of something. Metric, baby, metric. Shitty ass carpenter. I'd say I'd go buy some little scissors too, but the hell for? By the time I get around to getting them, I've done without them. Once Upon a Time in the West Country. The closest I've found is old Peter Barry. Once Upon a Time in the West Country rules and spin-offs for the Pirates, Napoleonics, and the Fire and Steel one for Colonials, but it's still D6. Vulgar Fractions. Yep. Only thing I don't like about decimal is sometimes you have numbers that are too big for something that's really small. You know, like decimeters don't get used. Centimeters get used, and then millimeters sometimes get used in areas that they shouldn't be used. Like you're defining something that's about this big in length. You can't use millimeters. It's a huge number for something that's, you know, a foot long. You know. But for miniature stuff, millimeters all the way. What's percentile? Fire and Steel's D10. Really soft percentile. D20 is a little bit more precise, but you know, everything's a 5% chance. Well, what if it's like a 1% chance? Well, you don't have that. You have to round up the nearest 5. I'm like, okay, well. The biggest problem with D20 systems is you have a die that likes to keep rolling. You need a really flat surface for that die. I don't necessarily dislike that die. You just need a flat surface for it. Can't play cocked dice with a D20. What the fuck is going on here? Is it maybe it's my light? Maybe it's a sign I need to get a new bulb. Well, we do use the heck out of this bulb. I'll be right back. Gotta use little boy's room. Not unplugging the phone. I'm not unplugging the mic. There's nobody here. realized I got a bruise on here from the IV. It bruised up later. I feel like a mainline user can't find a freaking vein. Cross-eyed mainline. Oh, man. Yeah, we need lots of styrofoam like the stage things. It's fine. I got lots of it. I got another one of those. I'm gonna need that soon. As soon as I get done with these, I'm gonna have to move them off the side, bring another one, and we're going to base coat some more palm trees. So. Back in a minute. Coffee refresh. You know, I'm open to adding more details or little stripes or whatever to these if it looks like they need it. You know, after they're like on a stand, you know. Actually, the trunks on these things look pretty darn good on this particular design. Yeah, we can't make teddy bear fur stuff, man. All those clippings, all those synthetic fibers that freaking go everywhere. They'd stick on your shirt. You'd bring them into the house. Like I don't need that. I don't need that shit in my house. I don't need that kind of crap. Well, wife even chiming in. Are you also going to do some wildlife? I'm not opposed to it. If I come across the right thing, you know. Wildlife. Bring on some crocodiles. Yep. If I come across them and they're the right scale, absolutely. I'm all for, having insane things happen. I do need to figure out how to say what the hell's a crocodile doing here in Japanese, you know? You know. Even crocodile wants some sushi. Absolutely. If I saw a water buffalo in this scale, yep. Tiger. Random event. Tiger shows up. Monkeys. Poo flinging monkeys. I don't think I'm gonna put them on there if they're not on the board, but there's this guy that always runs stuff at our shows, and on Thursday night, which is really session 0, it's the session before anything starts, and he runs a lot of Sword in the Flame stuff. And I guess there's a Sword in the Flame version that's like for explorer type things, and he's always runs an explorer type game in session zero, and it involves stuff like random event of some guy that's carrying like ammo, like it accidentally blows up or stuff like that. Like stuff you're not expecting, and there's wild animal attacks in the deck, but they got to be rare. You can't have them like all the damn time, But beware the tigress. Absolutely. I wish I had some of those cannibals that we saw. Yeah, Sword in Africa. That's what he plays. Yeah, it's okay. I've actually never played the white people. I've played that game probably 4 or 5 times. Never played white people. Headhunters. Those pictures I looked up the other day, man, some of those masks were like spooky, man. But they don't have any boom boom sticks. You know. Yeah, the guy who developed all those Sword in the Flame games, he was a guy that used to come to our shows in Tampa. He was an ex-marine, and he put on some pretty. He was a good game master. He was a really good game master. And I think that his daughter was still continuing the business, but that was many many years ago. That was probably, I don't know, every bit of 10 years ago, probably longer than that. Larry Brom. I think it was from Louisiana or something like that. Louisiana Stan. We're going to specifically do the weird shaped palms next, but ones I don't have to paint the frond on. Guy put the old Featherstone Historicon talks on YouTube. Also put on one of the Brom ones. I don't know that I've seen those, but I've said before. I think the period is interesting. If it's more than brown people versus the British. I mean, there's got to be more than that. I mean, different colonial powers with different brown people helping and fighting them and all that kind of stuff. Using one against the other kind of stuff. I'm all for that, but just like all the natives on one side and all the white people on the other side, that's a little too asymmetrical for me. Jeffrey probably likes those set of rules because there's variable movement. See, I remember. I actually like variable movement. But, I don't want it in my, I couldn't play like a World War II version of that. That's just too generic. And not because of the variable movement. I mean, I could add that to Face of Battle. It can't be an insane amount, but if you normally move 5 inches, some guy could move 7. You know, some guy might only move 3. It's variable movement because it's a variable amount of time too. The Featherstone talks are really interesting. I'll send you the link. You might enjoy listening in the car. Channel name is the Hysterian. Oh yeah, let me know. I'm always up for listening to things in the car. The problem is I end up listening to things in the car that are too complicated. Like I'm I've been listening to a lot of stuff this week that it's like, holy shit, I need to write this stuff down. I mean, stuff that involves like Anzio and the Rangers and like, I gotta write this stuff down. You know, I gotta like make sketches and if I wanted to do an exact copy of it or something like that, but I don't know. I'm kind of hooked on this whole not too specific type of thing. And I'm not saying I want to do make believe stuff, but just stuff that's in the that captures the essence and the stuff that you hear that happens. Not necessarily like, okay, well, you find exactly how many people are in that one squad, which you're never going to be able to find out, so that you can try to replicate a scenario or something to happen. But you're not going to have the right topography, anyways. You're not going to know exactly where the trees start or. So why not just make up your own stuff that's not not made of falsehood, but inspired by actual events. All right, these guys are going away, and then I'll spray all these. I'll go around them multiple times. Fuck, these look good. Let's kill this. Oh, this thing's still on. Don't need that. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, let's go grab another piece of styrofoam and let's bring some of these wet trees in. And I've got all of my palm trees have all been washed. The only thing I got left to wash is bamboo and this set of 50, which I'm probably just going to keep. It's the same as some of the other one. I'm probably going to keep them. All right, I'll be right back. I'll go to the garage. first set of trees. Now I have a whole other set of the standard island palms. This is the weird ones. These are the weird ones by Org Memory. And they have not been trimmed. They have not been trimmed. And they might still be a little wet. The Seminole Wars might be good for small skirmish game, heavy on the terrain, no hills to worry about though. Yeah, except I can't think of something that interests me less. That makes the Civil War sound interesting. Just doesn't interest me. That's like an in-between period. I mean, unless that's your type of thing, you know. Not a whole lot of Seminole fans here either. That's the enemy university. Oh, sorry about that. You supposedly can use that fire and steel for it, but I mean, you know, that's just they just put on there, you know, hey, it can be used for all these things, but is that really the case? I don't know how new this thing is. We better put a fresh one, or we're gonna make our life miserable. What game was it that you were doing all the little Chinese tribesmen for? You said you were doing some kind of Chinese thing in the late 1800s. What was that for? Oh, let's create a disaster. Let's create a disaster. Let's do it while the wife isn't here. And you know, I'm kidding about the disaster part, but whatchamacallit said he used a candle. Let's give that a shot. We'll know in an instant whether or not it's better. Now this is the only candle I have, so if I can't get close enough to it, well then I can't get close enough to it. It's a picture of Tony lighting up on camera. What? All right. We're not going to try it on a palm tree that we only have one of. That would be stupid. Oh, you know what he did? This is what he did. This is what he did. Yeah, this will work. I think this works a lot better. Yep. Not that this thing had that much flash in it to begin with. Roll for swamp ass. It's in Florida. Everybody gets it. I don't know why anybody would want to live here. I came here because of the weather. How bad is what kind of a shit show weather place do you live at where the weather is good here? Or the bugs, man. The bugs are just, I can handle it being hot. Okay? I don't like it, but I can handle it. And you're outside, you're going to come in, you're going to take a shower anyways. Right? I don't. this works pretty well. Some of these plants look like they're made in two pieces. I know what happened if I wanted to just say, like, there's some flash here. Let's deal with that. All right, so we're going to heat this up. Let me find it again. Must not that be that big of a deal if it disappears. That works nicely. And I'm not smelling anything, so that's always good. Here's the troublemaker. Death in the Dark Continent. Can you call it that still? I remember Busch Gardens here. It was Busch Gardens, the Dark Continent. And you get those shirts on like eBay. People have them pre-woke shirts. That's a racist shirt. Well, I guess you can't say afraid of the dark either. Here we go. Yeah, see, this is a good candidate to paint up because the palm fronds are like normal. It's got a stump and these are the ones supposedly that Marcus got. The org memories. They are more rubbery than the other ones. These are more. They're more rubber like. You're back. All I had to do is say Marcus and you showed up. Marcus, Marcus, Marcus. Yeah, these are your org memory ones here. I remember the Dallas councilman going berserk at a meeting because someone said a proposal was a financial black hole. Dude was asked why it's devil's food. Dude also asked why devil's food cake is black, but angel's food cake is white. In his defense, the red cake should be devil's food cake, whatever it's called. You know which one I'm talking about. Red velvet, that should be devil's food cake. Yeah, don't get me started on stuff. Black's one of my favorite colors. Well, some people are going out of their way to find other ways to hate other people. That's- I'm good. I don't need. I don't. This has got like it doesn't have a ridge. It has a seam. Yeah, we're just gonna have to let that go how it is. We're just gonna let that go how it is. That was back in 2008 before it was popular getting upset about everything. Let's try something and maybe regret it. Well, it didn't budget. Didn't even get warm. Yeah, that's not working. It is a good point. Where's the who? Why'd they call it Devil's Food Cake? Devil's Food Cake should be that red one. Think about it. Devils aren't black. Never were. Never have been. Black things aren't evil. Red things are, though. You red commie bastard. Did they make a MacArthur figure? I was looking at him. Did they make a MacArthur figure in 20 millimeter? I'd paint one of those. And then make like his pants like wet. He staged that landing. Whatever. Eccentric people will be eccentric. I didn't say I didn't like Seminoles. Oh, because they're the Florida State University Seminoles. The Native Americans I like are the ones from Central America. The Aztecs are the cool ones. I'm not a fan of these like Plains Indians. Like a little too not interesting for me. Man, you'd have to paint a lot of Aztecs. I can't get into that. You know the guys that steel whatever, fire and steel whatever. Those guys, I'm like, man, I'm glad you guys aren't getting into like conquistadors. So well, we have plans to do with that. I said, I'm not getting involved in that shit. That's too tempting. I'm not painting a shitload of Aztecs either. That's a lot of painting. Pants pulled up to the belly style. Oh, because Seminoles red. Are they? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's just stupid. There's some things that are just like, don't make any sense. That's one of those things don't make any sense. Red skin. I don't know red skin. They have the same damn color skin as tan better. That's all. Or yellow people. Really? Are Asians really yellow at all? No. That's stupid. Come up with a better put down than that. If you want to be insensitive. Oh, talking about McCarthy? Yeah, yeah. I had a math teacher that was like that. He had his pants all the way up at his belly button. He's probably as old as MacArthur too. I need to read something. I've got the MacArthur's Return book that I've been reading, which is pretty damn decent. He seems like less of a problem than Patton. Patton really seems like a loose cannon. I'm not saying he was sucky or anything like that, but seems like Patton had a lot more issues than MacArthur did. Yeah, I'm trying something different. That's what that guy in the video was doing. I'm like, okay, well, let's see if it works. I mean, if they didn't have this scene, these palms are excellent quality. I mean, they really are very good. Now, I don't know if they're, if they're the right representation of, Sumechica hormentica or whatever, whatever the species of palm this is, but hey, it's a flaming cannonball. I know it's burning some of this plastic. It's probably not good for your health, but I can't smell it, so I think I'm okay. It's not like we're going to do this for, 100 days in a row or something. When I painted, the Chinese used a Viejo medium skin tone with an AP strong tone wash. Wasn't sure they looked really yellow. Showed my neighbor and he didn't notice, which calmed me down. You have an Asian neighbor? They're the same damn color. Now, we had a couple of Asian people in our neighborhood that, well, Marcus could probably tell me more about this because he's the Asian expert on board right now. But they seem like they would cover up from the sun no matter what. And I don't know where they were from. I'm going to say they were Korean. But the girl she would wear this huge straw hat, like, and like didn't want to get like any tan on her, And I don't know. I mean, maybe she's got a skin condition or something, but I know that I think that some Asians look down on people that have too much of a tan. So they probably look down on me because my arms are always tan. So hey, not my fault. I can tan well. It's the olive skin people. Yes, I'm green, olive skin. But yeah, they're always walking around with an umbrella or something like that. He's of Pakistani descent, but he would say if it looked bad. Paki. Yeah. Well, I could be wrong here, but in the United States, if some people from India, Pakistan, they're not considered Asians. Not because that's think of like the Far East. I painted my Middle Eastern figures almost the same, almost the same as like I think what I did is when I added the black and the leather brown, and before I got to the base leather brown color or whatever red leather, before I got to the base red leather and started adding the sunny skin tone, I added the sunny skin tone as well. I just stopped before I got there and had a little bit of the black left in it, and just it made it a little bit more muted. I don't know if it even made that much of a difference, but I felt like it did. You know, Francois. The Asians like the lighter skin tones. A lot of Northern Asians look whiter than many Americans. Yeah, those people that were walking around the neighborhood, they were pretty reflective. You know, the thing about this Pacific stuff, man, I already got all kinds of scenario names stuck in my head. Bungle in the jungle, you know, all kinds of stuff. So, invasion of the Asian persuasion. Asian persuasion invasion. I think this candle falls in the ain't nobody got time for this category. I think it just takes too fucking long. It just takes too long. Now this thing should be almost free of stuff. Viejo rosy flesh works out for British tourists left out in the sun lounger. Oh, you got some pasty fuckers in your country, that's for sure. We had this kid that was in high school, and he was Irish descent or something like that. Celtic. Definitely Celtic. Celtic kid. And you get him out in the sun, he'd come in and he'd be all blotchy and red. I don't know what happened. I don't know ever know what happened to him, but I bet he's at a bar somewhere right now. It's only 8:30 in the morning. Shit, he's been there. The brazen Asian invasion. There you go. Francois, what branch were you in? Were you just army or? I'm looking forward to doing some Marines. I like those little cover. I mean, their uniforms suck. That whole big pocket stripe, the boys in the striped pajamas, the oversized pajamas. Not a big fan of that. But the helmet cover's cool as hell. I like the helmet cover. This is the one that goes with this one. Oh, this is Flash City. I've actually never seen one with this much flash on it. All right, the candle was fun for a séance. Army, okay. Yeah, I need to watch the Pacific again to get. I'll skip the parts with what's his face with that Egyptian guy. Man, that guy's an. I don't like that actor to begin with, and his character was just annoying. And he's talk like I ain't well in the head the whole time. I'm like, okay. Whatever his name was. Not a fan of Rami. Sorry. This thing is, this thing's good. This thing's solid. And that thing's pokey. This one's flash free. Or there's, it's enough in there that I'm not going to be able to get in there and modify that without going crazy. A little bit of flash. Like a devil's walking stick. They have a tree here. It's called a devil's walking stick, and that's what it is. Just a tree. It's about this big around. It's got spikes all on it, like that. Can I put a different one of these? Like if, let's say I want this one with a bigger poof. I put this one here. Yep, and then I can put the small one here. Big tall plant with a little poof at the top. Boop. Like it's been trimmed. Let's not do that. They are from Amazon. And if you watch on my channel, I did a whole unboxing of them. I spent about $110 worth on these things, but I have a shitload of palm trees. A shitload. I don't think I have too many. I don't think I have too many. I think I have the right amount. But yeah, we're gonna make an island. We're gonna make a friggin' island, man. No, Michael's doesn't have shit. Michael's is one of those stores like Target that they redid how the store is, and I never go in there anymore. Not that I want much in Target anyways, but they got rid of like homeware stuff and like clothes and stuff and added in like groceries. Like I don't need it. I don't need them to carry groceries, you know? I don't really buy stuff at stores anyways. Just getting to the point where it's like, man, you want to find something, it's like just order it online. Just order it online. I do want to get the wash on these so it has some time to dry, although it dries a lot quicker than I thought it would, considering it's on plastic. But let me decide whether or not I got to go to the store and get more wash. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to need to. Oh. Don't get that. And I'm not cutting the bottom of these things and adding music wire to them. That's just something I don't want to get interested in. You send me a link. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. I'll try to check that out later. if you watch that video, want to know where these are from, literally, I even have the link on each one of the products that I got. And I went back a couple days ago and saw if there was something maybe that I missed. And I pretty much got all the categories that they have. And some of these trees are repeats of each other, but many are not. And I think I'm going to go with what's his name. What he was saying is putting different species together. I don't want to put one of these and one of those. Like this guy is totally different. So I don't think I'm going to put any other palms here of this type. Like this is a small palm of the same style. So, they can go together. Because they're just little seedlings that come in and another little plant just pops up there. So, you've got like this large one that has several of them. I might do that sort of thing. I don't want this thing growing in the middle of a bunch of other ones. I'm like, what is this one? This is just like some fluke that is growing here, but it's no, sterile. It's a sterile palm. You got one of them morphodite trees? I don't think the wash is going to do anything to this one. This is so dark brown. I don't think the brown wash is going to do anything, but I'll still give it a wash. I think it helps other paint sticking to it. Yeah, see these little ones? Some of these little ones should have this. And then this one that's larger that was on the little one should go on that. That makes a little bit more sense. And of course you can mix and match them as you want. Morphodite. Yeah, I had a old redneck truck driver, and that's what he would say. One of them morphodites. One of them Homer sectionals. Sounds like a couch. One of them Homer sectional couch. Well, it sounds like to me. I'm gonna do presto changeo. We're going to these little ones. I'm gonna put this on them, and I'm gonna put this larger one on the larger tree. I mean, they can have a small one with a big branch, but it just makes more sense. You could do stuff like this too. You could be like, okay, well, I like this palm, but I don't like this green thing, so blammo. It's similar. Yeah, this is. I'm not looking forward to coating these and spraying the fronds. This is that Cuban Royal Palm looking one. Got this part up here is usually like a green. What other ones do we have? Yeah, some of them can be small, like this. I'm okay with that one being small. But like this one could do better with this. And then put this little one here. Morphodite trees. These little guys are basically flash free. There's a very pronounced ridge line on there. But all in all, I think these are all a good value. I have an extra one? That's strange. Alright, gotta go use a little boys room again. Well, I don't have to. I don't like that feeling. It's not like I don't have running water or anything here. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright. That one's pretty much good. Oh, we are going to need some small scissors if we're going to cut that bamboo like that. Oh, I'm not looking forward to I'm not looking forward to doing that, but man, it looks fabulous. This is the extra one. Fabulous. Yes, it does. If you could just sand this stuff, it'd be so much better, but you can't. It gets furry. I'd like to know exactly what's going on. Like, look at a microscope. Like when you go and you scrape something plastic and it gets furry, like what's happening? You know? What exactly is going on? I need a break from cutting this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I have here. Let's get our styrofoam. Do I have one bottle or two? I have two. 1.5. That should be enough. We'll leave the stumps on there, make it a little easier to find them again. Hello? Don't be getting all uppity with me. Uppity tree. Why was it so difficult to put in, and then when you let go of it, it falls down? It bounces back. Weird styrofoam. And I've been using the same colors of dry brushing, the trunks on all the palm trees, regardless of the palm tree type. Because the trunks are different, and it's worked so far. I tried not to complicate that if I didn't need to. This big old knobby old thing. This old thing. I'm looking forward to painting this one. So if you want a whole forest of these, you got to buy a lot of org memory sets. But you only get one of them in each one of those. This almost looks prehistoric. And here's its taller, lankier cousin. And these bend over quick. They bend over quicker. They bend better than the other ones. If you're going to do any bending, do it now. That's the wrong species of palm for that island. Really? What island is this? Oh, isn't it like No. No. Do whatever you want on that island. It's Fantasy Island, damn it. Fantasy Island always had. Seemed to had a lot of episodes that had the devil in them. Only devils on this island are white devils. You white devil, go home. Yeah, that one looks really nice in particular. So what we'll do is we're gonna sign off when we're done coating all these. We need a few hours for this to dry. Maybe even as little as an hour. Here's another one of these prehistoric ones. This one looks like one of those termite mounds they have in Africa. Obviously, this is a lot taller than those, but some of those get pretty tall also. Yeah, they look a lot better coated than this. Even if I was to leave them like that, which we're not going to, they look a lot better. So when I thought about it yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I looked on Amazon for like, cork placemats. I thought somebody was using cork placemats to use these as a base for these. Man, they're expensive as shit. Cork's expensive here in the United States. Stay in there, you bastard. And, N doesn't arrive for a while. Doesn't arrive till like Wednesday. That's a long time, man, waiting a week for, something like that. This is the one that was really dark, but I'm like, I don't even know why I'm washing this. For consistency. A little bouncy in that one spot. But I saw that the guy added some rocks. I don't have any rocks of that size. I could go get some, I guess, but his stands look pretty good. I just didn't. I really didn't care for the fronds were a little too uniform looking for my taste. I have to take a nap today. Yeah, they look a lot better. A lot better. Well, we need to do this anyways because this allows for the paint to get a better purchase on this surface. Purchase on the surface. You're up at 4 a.m.? Wow. Well, you make up your out. You working today? Oh, can't say the W word. Stop it! Are there any vehicles you're not interested in doing for the Pacific? That they use in the Pacific? I don't think any of them are off the table as far as I'm concerned. See, way back in the day, we would have just spray painted these fronds and realized, oh, that's an enamel spray. Although, who was it? Was it Terrain Tutor? Terrain Tutor was doing. You've been working while listening to me. I guess I shouldn't repeat a bunch of numbers. 53, 74, 87.4, 20. Stop it! I'm trying to balance the books. You're open to all vehicles. Yeah, I don't have anything off the table either. I really like those, and I don't know the Japanese tank types, but they're medium tank that went into China. It has a really flat front. I like those things. They're cool looking. I know they're a piece of shit, but whatever. Got a batch of 10 teed up for your next Iron Horse order. None are Pacific Theater. Well, I don't want to make it sound like I don't like his vehicles, but I don't have anything scheduled to order from him in a long time. And it has nothing to do with, I got enough on my plate. I got enough stuff here. I shouldn't be ordering anything. I don't have all of his stuff that I've gotten from him painted. So I don't deserve it. I don't deserve to order any more stuff from him. I don't deserve to order anything else from them. All right, we need to do these, and then we can take a break. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with these plants. Whether or not they'll get a wash. I kind of feel like they need to. We'll wash one and just see what happens with them. I think what we're going to do is let's do this. Let's get creative. Here's a little Ron's new Stoogs. I have a hard time just picking one. I'd have a really hard time just like, okay, you get to build one. Frick, which one? Let's not do this one yet. Okay, let's do, this will be our guinea pig. Because it's too bright. And of all the things I can do to this, doing this, obviously we'll still dry brush it, is probably the easiest thing to do. So let's try doing the easy shit first. And if the easy stuff works, guess what? It was easy. Let's not try to complicate our lives any. I think this is going to work as long as this paint doesn't like flake off. Yeah, I think that'd be a tough call. Okay, that looks pretty nice. I am going to do this one. It needs to have something if it's just way too bright. Oh, you're doing an early one. Yeah, that's the first batch. Ha! I think that was the right call. I think that was right. I think that was the right call. Might not even need that much of a dry brush. I mean, this is looking really. I mean, you got to remember this thing is also glossy when it shouldn't be. And you know, some glossy's okay. It is a plant, but this got a lot nicer. I mean, it's almost like Shit, we'll leave it that color. Shit. Which makes me think, what if I painted a frond on one of these with this brown? What could happen? Well, I've got a backup frond here. Shit, I'm gonna make myself a coffee. I've earned it. Thinking outside the box. That's the whole thing. You gotta keep everything moving. You can't be like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and you don't do anything, and like this looks great. Especially this one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab the red one. There's some of these that are like this in this red color. That's the other flavor, right? There's 3 different flavors that come in here. Yeah. That's why I don't want to mess with the bamboo right now. When we mess with the bamboo, that's all we're doing is bamboo. That's all we're going to do. That's going to take a long time trimming up those things with the bamboo. And I do have to find those trivets to find out if that's what I want to use. Because I've got, I think 3 of them. I bought them a long time ago at IKEA. I'm like, oh, these are like $2 or $1, or they're really, really cheap. But they're as thick as this. I think they're as thick as this right here. That's pretty thick. You can cut down the edges, but you're going to do a lot of chopping up on that. So it might just be easier just to not even do that sort of thing. I don't know where the hell they are. They're probably in a garage somewhere. I also don't know how crumbly they are. But one of the products that the guy ended up using, I have, and I haven't gotten much use out of it. So it's like a perfect opportunity to use it. And it is, don't ask me what the hell I got it for because I don't remember. This stuff right here. This matte medium. So I got a whole thing of matte medium. Which wasn't cheap. It was $13 fucking. I don't know what the hell it was for. But thin that down and use that to, cover over the plants or whatever. So I think we're gonna, holy crap, I can't believe this looks so good. I'm so happy with this. Oh, this has a smell. I just smelled it for the first time. It's not pleasant. But look, the wash even picked up like the center, there's like a center stem on there. That looks, man, he's looked fantabulously good. Well, I gotta try the fronds on one of these and just see what happens. Just see what happens. Well, we gotta do one that that there's not flash on it. And this may not work, but I don't think that I've got much to lose. We'll do one, paint it up, and make a decision based on that. buy stock in this stuff. I did make it in a tub, but supposedly it's not the same material. In other words, it's not a water-based material. It's like a Minwax type thing. Now, Minwax also makes some acrylic colors, but those Minwax containers are a pain to open and close. You know what I'm saying? They're not enjoyable to do that with. I don't know if this is going to work, but you know what this would be good for? A small plant. The top of it is as a small plant. Now, let's use Mr. Tweezers again. Looks really good. Oh, where's that one I had in my pocket? Still in my pocket. Here's the last one, the reddish one. So we'll do the same thing with this. We'll chop this thing down. Paint this joker. See, it's awfully red. I don't mind it having a red tint to it. Bungle in the jungle. Yeah, wild creatures are definitely on the menu on the menu. I just don't remember where that article was. That it was that one island that was near in Burma or Thailand or something like that. There was some island full of crocodiles that I want to say it was the Japanese came across it, and they had a feast. The crocodiles had a feast. Well, it looks a hell of a lot better than did before. I hope that works for the fronds, but I'm not holding out for it. But I think when I do paint the fronds, I'm going to go ahead and do something else while I'm at it. Because if I do paint the fronds, I'm going to have to base them in black. And there's something I haven't opened. I've had for a whole week and I haven't opened it. And I think Marcus will really like this. So let me know if you want to see it. Tease. I haven't opened it. This is something somebody asked me for paint tips on how to paint something, and I really don't like to write shit. So I'm like, fuck it, how about I just paint it for you and we'll do it live on screen and see how it turns out. And it should be something I should be able to do in an afternoon. I might actually pick up a skill I didn't know I had. problem is I might actually want one for myself, but it's something that's relatively easy to find. I think. Come on, let's open it. All right, I'm almost there. I just got a few more to do. I would never tease you with I have something and then, oh, by the way, I'm not going to open it. I don't do shit like that. Too much of that kind of stuff happens to me on a daily basis at work that, you know, I don't want to pass on that kind of disappointment. Fuck it, let's open it. I gotta be careful because I don't want to show the address on there because, you know, it's somebody else's address too. But this is something that was sent to me by Marty. I'm gonna open it from the back. And I hope it's good for him because it was almost like $10 shipping. Now, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna open the top. We're just not gonna show you opening it. You gotta trust me. He wanted me to tell him how to paint this. And I'm like, I don't want to write all this shit out. I'll just paint it for you. So I do paint for people, but it's on a volunteer basis. Now, I would paint this, personally, I would paint this, oh, it's 3D printed. Looks like it. Yeah, actually smells good. Ooh, it looks like it's still curing. That's not. Well, I'm not going to mail it back. I said you can come pick it up at Mitch's, or we can get it the next. This is still kind of curing. I don't know about this, Sarge. Okay, you experts on 3D printing, is this something I need to leave in the sun? Like this is like, it's like still gooey. I mean, the top of it's dry. This is something I need to be worried about. Anyways, he wanted to paint it like some Buddha Kamakura or something like that. So bronze with, man, this is like, what's that stuff called that I don't like? Brie. It's like freaking brie. Other than that, this thing looks awesome. Oh, he did say it had a little bit of a beard. Not anymore. I think he wanted that removed. It looks like Flash to me. Yeah, we'll leave the flashy part of it off. I mean, this thing looks really good. Oh, it's like shifting here. Ooh. I don't know what's going on here. Whether it's one of these things where I didn't leave enough breathing holes in it. Look at the side of it. Burma, baby. Well, it's not for me. Okay, it's for his samurai. Now, the good thing is, I've got 15mm samurai figures that when I'm done, we could do it next to it. He's got kind of like a crease on his head. We're going to leave that alone. I'm a little concerned about this. I'm going to shoot a picture of this and send it back to him. I'll still paint it. I just don't know what you need to do. I mean, see how it's like even here, right? As you come around, we're still good. And then here, it's kind of like, you know. Well, what I'll do is I'll paint it. If he doesn't like it, he can get me another one at the show. We'll trade it, and I'll keep this one and use it for Burma or something. Yeah, definitely Burma. Or some other island, you know? Was it left somewhere hot? Might be melting. Also, someone might need to drill into the underside to let out any uncured resin, lest it explodes later. How about I do that now? How big the holes need to be? It's like soft. Let me know what to do, pros. This is not my area. Yeah, I heard about this is the Plastic Soldier Company issues. Let me go grab my coffee. So my initial reaction, I don't know whether he'll like this is. This will be bronze and be, what do you call that stuff? And I'm not buying any special paint. I got enough paint between glazes and stuff. We can use something like this green sky as the as the color for that. So I'm gonna paint it black, cover it in bronze, dry brush with bronze, dry brush with that afterwards, or a wash, or make a glaze on it, and then just tinker as need to be. I told him I wasn't gonna put pigeon droppings on it. That'd be a little not cool. Taking a dump on Buddha. Enough expertise, just that they can pop later. Shit. Fuck. Here goes. All right, I'm gonna post this on. I'm gonna post this on Facebook. I got enough. I got enough friends on there. Somebody's gonna have to be somebody will be an expert on that. All right, let's get. It looks great. I thought it was gonna look more. I don't know. It was going to be a little bit more like the laughing Buddha holding his belly kind of thing. Like at the all you can eat buffet. I mean, if it's something I can fix, I certainly got the skill set to be able to fix it. I got enough tools and stuff. You know. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, I'm not getting into 3D printing. I'm not one of those guys. I'm a painter, damn it. I just want it to come out nice for them. Anyhow, I will hold off until some experts. I'll drill in it. I got tools to do that, especially the. And I don't care that it cracks now, because I can fix it if it's cracked. I don't want it cracked after it's done. You know, if we still had vertical chat, someone could pay you 20 cents to drink the forbidden goo that comes out of it. They could try. I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap or easy. I'm worth more than people think I'm worth. I think I'm worth more than people think I'm worth. So means you don't get me doing cheap thrills. Drink the goo. It bothers me that people will do anything for money. That some people will do anything for money. There's just a lot of things I'm not. You can't talk me into doing. I don't need money that bad. Like, you're not going to find me wearing a dress. Nope. I might say some phrases like somebody that's wearing a dress, but we'll leave it at that. I ain't wearing it. Oh, stop. Was it just two that we have left? Yeah. I think I think that looks pretty good, but we do need to solve it. As soon as I get as soon as I get off of this, I'll post that on Facebook and send it to Marty and see what he thinks. Because now is the time to do it before we have some before it comes out really cool. Damn, that sounded wronger than I intended. Oh, stop it. Drink the forbidden goo that comes out of it. Drink the milky white forbidden goo that comes out of Buddha. Are Buddhists allowed to have relations? Or, the head Buddha. The head Buddha guy. The head Buddha in charge. Buddhists aren't violent, are they? They'll do like, their idea of the terrorist act is light themselves on fire. Like, that's not going to get you where you need to go, but okay. I'll show you. I'll light myself on fire. You're not going to show me shit. I am going to. Yep. Here's the dickhead that waited until today to mow the fucking lawn. If I ever get around to being retired one day, I look forward to making everybody's life hell, being pissed off at me, not having anything to do. Oh, come on. Are we out? There we go. Hold on a second. I don't know how fucking flammable this is. There we go. You never know. This isn't that kind of channel. This isn't that kind of channel. Oh, they can be violent? Buddhists? Okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't know any. See if I get this closer. Maybe it's misguided Buddhist, right? This got a real big seam on this side. Well, I'm more excited to paint it now that I saw it, but I do want to fix it. So we'll post that on Facebook here shortly. I mean, that's what Facebook is for, I mean, that's what I use Facebook for. I know who will be able to tell me. I bet Brian knows. I bet Stroop knows. And I don't think he's a historian. I don't think he's too busy to answer. Because he does some 3D printing. Or he has a guy that does 3D printing or something like that. Only thing about posting stuff on there is you'll get people that don't know, but then they'll still give you an answer. Like, I don't know what it is about people who are so afraid of saying, I don't know. They'll just come up with an answer. Well, I've been fooled enough times that, I don't just take the first answer that I get. But if you don't know, say you don't know. Oh, I don't know, but it's probably this. Okay, well, I could guess that too, I never think somebody's stupid because they don't know the answer to something. I think somebody's stupid when they don't know the answer, give you an answer, and then it's wrong. Not knowing is not stupid. Giving you the wrong answer is stupid. All right. I don't know that this looks that much better. kind of gimpy. All right, here we go. And none of these palms have coconuts, by the way, because they're not coconut palms. They're not cocoteros. Hey, cocotero. Okay, so at this point, they're all washed. We're gonna rinse this. We're gonna let these dry. We'll come back later. I don't know what time.